Welcome back to Captain Crypto's Compass, and in this video we are going to discuss the recent bull flag breakout that Bitcoin printed. Now we're going to discuss key levels that need to hold in order for this breakout to confirm, and stick around to the end because I'll also show you some realistic price targets that I have set up should we manage to break that all-time high and enter phase of the bull run. Welcome to Captain Crypto's Compass. I'm Martin and thank you so much for joining me. Now I'm here to invite you to join me on my journey as I navigate the exciting but sometimes complicated world of blockchain. Now in this channel we dive deep. I'm here to provide you with in-depth technical analysis of your favorite cryptocurrency projects. We're going to have a look at Bitcoin, we're going to have a look at Ethereum, we're going to have a look at Solana, BNB, Total 3, your favorite meme coins and various other cryptocurrency projects, whether that be in the AI space, the DePIN space, and many more. Now, if you're a seasoned trader or maybe even just crypto curious, I'm here to provide you with the insights that you need to find and identify market movements in the charts. Now, we're going to post videos every week to help you stay informed and stay ahead of the herd. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification. Peace and love to my fellow underdog. Now, let's head on over to the weekly chart in Bitcoin. And the first thing that I'd like to pay attention to and like us to pay attention to is this blood zone that we have here. Now, the blood zone is roughly between about 69,000 and roughly $65,500. Now, why this is important, if we head on over back to our previous bull run in November 2021, we saw that this area here with these two candle closes and with the wick gave us this resistance zone that has been plaguing Bitcoin now for the last couple of months. We can see that Bitcoin has tried to break this blood zone 3 times consecutively, and we have finally now managed to break into the blood zone and have a breakout candle print on top of our blood zone. Now, looking at this from a different angle, we can see that Bitcoin has also then been forming this bull flag pattern for the last couple of months. We can see that the top of the channel has acted as resistance and the bottom of the channel has acted as support. Bitcoin coming up to the top of the channel being rejected, coming back down to the bottom of the channel finding support, and it's done this and repeated this for the last couple of weeks. And now this is the exciting bit. We have finally broken above this channel with a confirmation candle last week holding above the bull flag channel and causing that breakout that I'm talking about. So when we talk about a bull flag breakout, this is the setup that we're looking for. This bull flag forming and with a candle breaking above the channel and holding support above it. Now this is exciting news. I mean, if we look at our momentum, if we look at the RSI on the weekly channel, we can see that Bitcoin has been trading in this downtrend now ever since March in 2024. And we can see that we have created higher, lower highs and lower lows consecutively for roughly 200 days now. And Bitcoin has finally managed to break this downtrend and move up past 50 and is approaching one of our key resistance levels on the RSI. So this breakout of the trend is a very important thing for us to look at. For those unfamiliar with the RSI is a relative strength index, and it shows you how hot a specific asset is. The further up above close to 100 it gets, the more the RSI tells you it's overbought. The asset is hot, a lot of people are buying it, and the lower the RSI goes, if we can go all the way back all the way to 0, that shows us that the asset is oversold. Think about it like a thermostat measuring the temperature of the asset. Is it very hot? Are a lot of people buying it? Or is it cold? You know, a lot of people selling this asset. Hey, hope you're enjoying the content so far. Please remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. So we can see that Bitcoin is trading above the 50 level on the RSI, which in the past signaled a bullish momentum re-entering the market. We can also use the RSI to then plot key specific levels on the chart that we can expect resistance to start re-entering the market. And we can see, looking at the RSI chart here, I've identified a couple of pivots that we have struggled with and faced resistance or found support in the past. Now we know that once we get to a support to resistance level, that once we approach resistance and we break that resistance, it often acts as support. And when we get to a support level and we break a support level, that often acts as resistance. So we get this dynamic push, breaking a resistance zone, becoming support, or breaking a support level and it becomes resistance. Now we can see that we broke the support level here in June of 2024, and Bitcoin is currently approaching that exact same level with this pivot that we had. So this 62 level in the RSI is a very important level for me for us to look at, as we need to be able to break above the 62 level and hold support on the RSI above the 62 level to confirm a continuation of this uptrend. Now that is what we're going to need in order to break those all-time highs. So I'm watching the RSI closely for this move. I do not want it to be rejected at the 62 level and break down again. That would cause us to re-enter and put a lot of strain and pressure on the blood zone here between that level of the 69,000 and 65,000 area. So if the RSI does struggle in this area, if we do see the RSI struggle to get past 62, break back down, we can expect a retracement back into this blood zone here between roughly 69 and 65,000. Now if we look at the Stochastic RSI, now the Stochastic RSI is an amazing tool that we can measure momentum. Now simply put, the Stochastic RSI has two lines. It has a blue line and a orange line. Now to keep it simple and straightforward, what we're looking for is if the blue line is above the orange line, it means that we have positive momentum. The Stochastic RSI measures the momentum of the asset that we're currently trading. So we're looking for the blue line to be above the orange line, and we can see that the blue line has crossed above the orange line in the 9th of September 2024, and we have been in this bullish territory on the Stochastic RSI ever since, showing us that the bulls are still in control. Now one of the warning signs that we can look out for then is during this push to those all-time highs is we need to monitor this blue line very carefully. If we start seeing a weakness in it and we see a cross with the blue line crossing below the orange line, that will show us that the bearish momentum is re-entering the market, and that will cause us to also start retesting these key areas of around 69 and 65,000 on Bitcoin. So keep an eye on the Stochastic RSI. As long as the blue line is above the orange line, we are good to go, and we will have the momentum that we need in order to push into that all-time high. And the final nugget that I want to share with us is the MACD. Now, the MACD also shows us these positive momentums to the upside or the downside, very similar to the Stochastic RSI. However, to also keep it simple, what we're looking for here in the MACD is for the orange line to be above the blue line to be above the orange line. We can see that every single time that the blue line crossed below the orange line, that has signified a downturn in the market. We can see that Bitcoin went into a consolidation phase as soon as we got that MACD cross, with us creating lower highs and lower lows. And now finally, with the MACD cross having that bullish cross with the blue line crossing back above the orange line, we can then also expect the bullish momentum to start re-entering Bitcoin. Now this is very important because the timing of this MACD cross is very, very opportune. Having this MACD cross at the point where we are challenging our previous all-time highs is a very good sign that we will have most likely enough momentum to start breaking into that all-time high. So those are the three indicators that I am closely looking at. So that it would be the RSI, looking at that 62 level. Let me just show you that one again. This line over here, the 62 level, and then keeping an eye on the Stochastic RSI to make sure that that blue line stays above the orange line, and then with this final confirmation of the MACD as well, showing us that bullish momentum is re-entering the market, it is indeed time to start being excited to see what Bitcoin does with all of this newfound momentum that we have seen with Bitcoin. Now, I also want to talk about this bull flag confirmation. With this breakout of the bull flag, there are a couple of things that we're looking for from a trading perspective. Now, the first thing is that we want it to break above the bull flag and then hold support on top of the flag pattern. And we can see that Bitcoin here has done a textbook breakout candle of the bull flag, breaking that upper channel and coming back down to test on top of that channel. So this is another very positive sign that I can see for Bitcoin, breaking out of the channel, breaking out of the bull flag, coming back down to test the top of the channel, holding it as support, and now finally having another push up. So these are all very positive signs for me for the up and coming test, the all-time high test. And we'll need to see and wait to see if Bitcoin has enough momentum to push into that all-time high, break that all-time high, and then start holding support on top of our blood zone. The 69,000 area that we identified here will be crucial for the support coming in as we are breaking up into these higher areas. Our key support zones, should Bitcoin fail to break, would then one be the $69,000 area on top of the blood zone. The second would be the 65,500 level, being the bottom channel of the blood zone. And then finally, we also have our anchored VWAPs and our 21 SMA line, also forming our dynamic support and resistance zones during this move. So I'm also keeping a close eye on this yellow line. This is the 21 SMA, and I'm also keeping a close eye on this white line, the anchored VWAP, to show me if we do break down, we do get resisted at this all-time high. I'm expecting support to re-enter in these zones between 69, 65, 500, or ultimately then around 64, and on the white line at around $62,800. So these are all key areas for this little push up to continue. If we do have a retracement now, a rejection, I'm looking for support to start re-entering on these areas, create another higher low, regain strength, regain momentum, and then push back again to the upside. In a very bullish scenario, if we do have a breakout above the all-time high here and hold above our all-time high as support at roughly 73,800, that would be an even more bullish sign for us that Bitcoin is ready to take that next leap. Hey, hope you're enjoying the content so far. Please remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Now, talking about next leaps, if Bitcoin does manage to break out and hold support above these key support levels that we've identified now, what are realistic targets that we can expect Bitcoin to get to? Now, this is where I have done a little bit of tinkering, and I went to the chart and identified key Fibonacci levels that we can use and identify on the chart to give us these areas that we can expect resistance to re-enter the market. Now, the first thing that we need to see here is that we have been forming a Elliott wave count, our 1 wave, 2 wave down, 3 wave expansion, and our 4th wave correction. And it looks like we have finally managed to start our wave 5. Now, during this push up, now that we're expecting that little push into the all-time high, these are my targets that I've identified myself that I need to pay careful attention to see if Bitcoin at every single one of these targets is going to start facing resistance. And I want to be on top of the things that, because as Bitcoin approaches these targets and shows weakness and starts rejecting, I can then make informed decisions to manage my trades and manage my portfolio accordingly. So this has proven very helpful for me to just manage my own expectations of what I think is possible with this next leg up in Bitcoin if we do manage to break the all-time high. Now, the first target that I have is obviously the all-time high that we have is roughly about $73,800, and that would be the top of our wave 3 in the Elliott wave. So we can see here that that is the top of wave 3, correction back down. So we can see that we are finally approaching that key level. We had a little bit of a rejection here now, so I'm keeping a close eye on this level. But the second target then is also our 5.3 theory, the $79,200. The 5.3 theory is a mixture and a combination of diminishing returns in Bitcoin. You know, every cycle that Bitcoin has had a bull run, we have seen diminishing returns by a factor of roughly 5.3. Now, if we calculate that mathematically, this bull run's 5.3 theory then says that Bitcoin's peak cycle should be roughly around 79,200. So according to that math, there's also another target that I've set up for myself, being that $79,200 on the chart. So target 1, 73,800, target 2, 79,200, and then target 3 is the Fibonacci 1.618 extension from the low that we made here in August this year. Now, taking the extension, Fibonacci extension from that move, we can see that the 1.68 extension from the bottom of wave 4 comes to around $85,600. Now, it's not unheard of that extensions like this, especially with a corrective wave, does push into that 1.618 extension range. So I've highlighted that area as an area of importance that I need to look at. So that would be my third target. Now, these 3 targets I would say are my realistic targets. Looking at the chart, not being overzealous or overeager, I can say that Bitcoin will most likely approach one of these 3 targets should it break its all-time high with relative confidence. The next 2 targets are my very optimistic targets, almost my banana zone targets, where Bitcoin smashes all expectations, the liquidity comes in, and we have a complete new cycle, complete new bull run push to the upside, and it has similar strengths to our previous bull runs. Now, I'm careful with these 2 targets, but I do have them on my chart just to remind me of what is possible and what has happened in the past. Now, the first target is the 1.272 Fibonacci extension from the all-time highs of our previous bull run to the all-time lows. Now, taking from the high to the low, we can see that we have an extension target of roughly $104,000 at the 1.272 extension target on the Fibonacci. So that would be my 4th target for Bitcoin during the cycle. And then my extremely optimistic target that I probably have and if I am completely honest with you, I probably think this is a 2 to 5% possibility. But nonetheless, if Bitcoin repeats its strength of the previous cycles, and I'll show you what I mean by that now, we're looking at $174,000 Bitcoin. Now that would indeed be something, and Bitcoin will really have to do something amazing for it to reach those specific levels. But it has done this in the past. Now, if we look at our previous bull runs, you'll see here I have the 1.618 also marked from our previous top to bottom. So we had this is the bull run correction that we had during COVID. You can see that if you take the highs from this top here in December in 2017 and measure the Fibonacci all the way down to the bottom in 2018, Bitcoin actually managed to hit the 1.618 Fibonacci extension at the double top. So if Bitcoin were to repeat the same type of move now, moving from our all-time high here in the last bull run in November 2001, measuring from the top of that all the way to the bottom, and highlighting that 1.618, that's how we get to that $174,000 Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin has the same move as it did in the previous bull run, that would be an extremely optimistic target for Bitcoin. So these are my logical levels, my realistic targets being between about 73,800 to roughly 85,600, and my very optimistic banana zone targets roughly between about $104,000 and $174,000. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this content, hit the like button, hit the sub button, and hit the bell notifications. Also, remember to click the link in the description below to join my mailing list, where I'll be sending you free emails and trading videos, and also market report updates weekly to help you stay ahead of the herd. As always, this community would not be the same without you, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. Peace and love. See you next time.